I have Rosie Paul in the studio. Good evening, Rosie.
Hello, Prithvi.
So Rosie Paul is the co-founder and principal architect at Masons Inc., specializing in earthen building technologies. Rosie, through your venture Mason Inc., you say you are doing activism through architecture. For those who have tuned in, if you can just explain this concept.
So at Masons Inc. Studio, we focus on three verticals: sustainability, heritage conservation, and social architecture. So already I think we're working with subjects that are sometimes the talk of the town, but rarely anything happens around it to really make a difference, right? I think sustainability is the in thing now.
Yeah, okay.
We talk about everything being sustainable, but if you really go into it, are we really being sustainable is a question that I
Our
think
sustainability is as good as the marriages. Very difficult to sustain.
Well, as architects, we actually have a major role to play in making a big change because everybody needs a house. True. Everybody needs shelter is one of the basic necessities, right? Yeah. So, and we feel like us being in this position of an architect advising people on building their homes and everything, we can really make a difference for people to make informed decisions on how to build and what not to do and the choices to make and what not to make.
Three things on top of your mind that people shouldn't do while building.
Follow market trends. Believe that cement and concrete is the answer to everything. And if you have a house out of cement and concrete and glass, then all your problems are sorted. That's actually the opposite of what you're doing for yourself. Third thing, hire an architect. Don't think you can do this on your own.
Yes. Hire professionals. They are good at what they do, right?
Yeah,
professionals.
Exactly.
We hope so. You are truly a She Shakti. That is Rosie Paul. So Rosie Paul, you spend a lot of time with masons and construction workers. How do you empower their lives and livelihood?
When it comes to Masons Inc. at least, we are a very hands-on firm and we work with a lot of natural materials because natural materials are the most sustainable. Yeah. What is funny is, natural buildings is how we used to all live.
Correct.
All our ancestral homes or, our grandparents, someone or the other has lived in an earthen house or a stone house or something like that.
Right.
Unfortunately, because the whole fad of cement came in, people have forgotten and also have the skill is getting lost.
Correct.
So now when we're trying to bring this back into normal construction and make this back into the conventional, what we face is a severe lack of skill.
Correct.
So if we really want to, intervene and make a difference, we need to skill and capacity build.
Got it.
And hence, so that's what we do. We try and, through our sites or through workshops that we do, we try and skill build and capacity build masons who either they're working in construction but building with cement, steel, etc. and training them how to work with lime and mud and stone and things like that. Or we are skilling them to become masons. So people who are helpers or unskilled people, because these kind of things just need a little bit of training and then with practice you can build your own house kind of thing. So we just ensure that we give them the means to learn and skill up.
You provide them skills, which means you're improving their livelihood as well, because then they have a chance to earn more.
Yes.
Can I pause to give you a round of applause first?
I wish I could work with this kind of hype every day,
This is really awesome what you do. May your tribe increase. This is wow.
Thank you so much.
You are truly a She Shakti, Rosie Paul. These are the women who have contributed immensely to the society. I have Rosie Paul. Rosie, how are you upskilling women in carbon neutral building practices?
What's really interesting in India is the construction sites in India already have women on the sites, whereas in the western parts of the world, women are not very much seen on those sites. It's hard to even bring them there. But for us, we already have these women. They are helpers.
That's great.
And I'm sure you've seen there are women carrying these heavy loads, climbing these ladders, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But what's unfortunate is they don't get the training to become something more than helpers. So a lot of training actually in construction sites happen informally. So there are male helpers who get trained by the main masons and slowly they become, they become laborers, they become masons. They slowly climb up the ladder. Yeah. Whereas for women, there's no chance of that. It's just not done. due to societal conditioning or lot of issues, we're trying to change that slowly.
Super.
So for us, what we try and do is we try and train women masons. So there's this particular project where we're working on, where with the client we have decided that we will train only women, and this building will be done cement free and entirely by women.
Wow, how do clients
themselves.
react to that?
I mean, it's not that, we go to every client and say,
sure.
let's get women to build this. Again, like I said, we work with different communities in different rural areas. So if there is a potential, and if we see that there are women coming to site as helpers or doing something, then we look into that and try to develop them
Rosie.
further. And we're trying to do that in many ways. This is one of the things that we're doing. And training them in alternate construction practices. Again, there's two things that we're trying to solve, right? The skill deficit that we have because of the overuse of cement and us forgetting how we used to live or how we used to build. So we're trying to cover that. At the same time, we're trying to bring in that gender equality perspective, because if we anyway have to train, we need a labor force knowing an alternate skill of building with mud and building with lime and building with stone and natural materials. Why not train females as well, right?
Fabulous, Rosie. Rosie Paul, you're one of the top 20 leaders from Women Climate Collective. For those who have tuned in, if you can explain this.
So it's a collective that supports emerging climate leaders in amplifying their voice and also, creating a greater positive impact. So they provide a lot of guidance and assistance. So they kind of support you over a year.
How do they pick and choose people? How are you chosen?
So either it's a nomination or you send in your this thing, but you have to also kind of say, how is it that you're making a difference?
Right. Awesome.
And how do you feel like you can make a bigger impact if you do get involved with the WCC?
Awesome.
So it's been a great experience so far, and also meeting the other women on the cohort.
And what's the purpose of this meeting? This cohort, this forum?
It's basically to promote climate action, just gender positive and just transition and positive climate action, and for women to become agents of change rather than victims of climate change. Yeah.
Awesome. I wish you well. May your tribe increase. So lovely having you in the studio. I'll give you another round of applause for you because you love it so much.
Thank you.